Welcome to Newrealities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. I'm very happy to have back on my program Deepak Chopra, and this is your 85th book called You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self. Your books are a new adventure of mine. So this book addresses what you call the hard questions of science. How did molecules become conscious?
It's in collaboration with the physicist Menas Kafatos, who was trained at MIT, is now at Chapman University. He's a professor of quantum physics and cosmology, so he contributed a lot to the science.
But the big question is, I think that the book addresses, how did matter become conscious?
So let's go to the heart of this.
Okay.
Molecules, matter, stars, galaxies, the physical universe is a human construct. Let me explain that, okay? In the deeper realms, there is no such thing as matter. Matter is a concept in human consciousness for an experience, and the experience is perceptual processes in consciousness.
Let me just deconstruct that. So this thing, matter, is what we're calling matter is just something we are labeling matter.
It's the interpretation of sensory experience. There are two views. The scientific view is that there is something there, okay, that is real, and I, which is somewhere inside this, is experiencing that. But let's deconstruct that. When you look at this plant, what's coming to your eyes are photons. They have no mass, they have no color. In fact, they have no dimensionality. They hit your retina, where there's so-called chemical reaction, which sends an electrical current to your brain. In your brain, there's electrochemistry, and voila, you see this three-dimensional world with color, sound, texture, taste, smell. There's no explanation for that.
So the color's not, it's not in the brain, but yes, we're interpreting color, but there is something out there.
No.
There is a world out there.
No.
There is not.
No. It's a human construct. So here's a baby, right? And what is the baby experiencing in every second before it gets conditioned? It's experiencing tastes, colors, smells, thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, images, perceptual experiences. And there's no label. And there's no differentiation between me and the universe. It's all one gestalt.
Right.
Now you come along and you say, oh, your baby, your name is Alan Steinfeld. You're American, you're a male, and you were born to this family. And now you have a construct. You have this conditioned mind. And then you also say, you know, that experience you're having, that's called a plant. That other experience you're having, that's called a star. That other experience you're having, that's called a body. Okay, and whatever these experiences you're having, which are you can't see, but you're having them as thoughts and emotions, that's called a mind. So now you're screwed. For the rest of your life, you think you have a body, a mind, and there's a universe. In fact, there's no such thing. All there is consciousness that's bubbling with modifications of its own self as sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, and sense perceptions. Somehow people think that their thoughts are integral to them, but their perceptions are outside them. But a thought modifies itself as a feeling, it then modifies itself as a sensation, and then it modifies itself as what we call perceptions, but they're all modifications of self into qualities of self that we call qualia. Qualias are felt experiences. So there's consciousness bubbling as qualia. The human conditioning then labels these qualias as mind, body, and world. On a practical level, that's important because, with having labeled these, and we can then experiment with our models, and we can create jet planes and the internet and all this technology.
We interface with this world that's still us, even though
it's us.
It's us.
There's no other world, and there's no inside or outside. Those are also human constructs. At a fundamental level, there's no well-defined edge between what you call a body, and what you call the universe. It's a boundless, formless. Boundless means no boundaries, therefore no form. Now, you say that's unimaginable and inconceivable. That's correct, because all your imagination and concepts are built on experiences in space-time. But space-time emerged from something that was not space-time, which was formless.
And those are labels as well, space-time, right?
Absolutely, they're human constructs.
Right.
Even animals are human constructs. No giraffe knows that it's called a giraffe. Okay, no elephant knows that it's called an elephant. The dog in the White House has no idea that it's in something called the White House, and those are human constructs. So we have created the universe.
But this is an old argument. Samuel Johnson had this in the 1800s, and he had the same argument. He kicked a rock and broke his foot and said, "Thus I refute thee."
Yeah, but totally wrong, because the arm is a construct, the rock is a construct, and the pain is a qualia. And so there is no such thing at a fundamental level. You see, once you get that, you're not your body,
Yeah.
because there's no such thing. You're not your mind, that you were never born, that you will never die, that everything is a projection of yourself, that there are no boundaries to the universe, that the essential nature of existence, everything, is total egoless, that if you can see it and touch it and taste it and smell it and think about it and imagine it, it's not real, then you're free. Because then what you realize is that you're immortal. Immortal not in the sense of endless time, because that's also a construct. Immortal in the sense of outside of time, no time.
I get that, and I live according to that belief philosophy, but the purpose of the book, I think, is to make this bridge to the hard science.
The hard science, again, remember, science is a mental activity in human consciousness, right? So experiments are designed in human consciousness, observations are made in human consciousness, and theories are conceived in human consciousness. So science is, at its source, an activity in consciousness to explain experience and interpretations of experience. The hard problem of science is that there's no explanation for experience. There's no explanation for thought. There's no explanation for how photons create this or this experience. So science is very useful in that it helps us create technology. So, classical science helped us create the industrial age, and it's still useful for sending men to the moon or a rover on Mars. But science does not answer questions, how do I experience what I experience? And what we call facts are actually modes of knowledge. They're again constructs around experience and interpretation of experience. So instead of saying this is a world, you can say this is an experience.
Right.
Okay, and where is this experience happening? Where else? In you. Where is that you? Can't be found. If it can't be found, it has to be formless. And if it's formless, it's not in space-time.
I get that, and thank you, because I think you're a great communicator, you're a great bridge. But there's going to be scientists who are based in facts. How do you talk to them without using the word consciousness, because I think when you use that word consciousness of science, they already disqualify us.
The first 9 chapters of the book deal with science and its current conundrums. What existed before the Big Bang?
That we don't know.
Okay, so we cannot know, because once we get to the Planck scale or the Planck epoch, which is 10 to the power of minus 37 seconds, or post Big Bang, there are no laws of nature.
Well, let me just tell you, Terence McKenna said to scientists, say, you give us one miracle, we'll explain all the rest. You give us the Big Bang, and then we'll explain the rest of nature.
Correct.
Yes.
So there's no explanation for what caused the Big Bang or what existed in the Planck epoch. Second, why is the universe fine-tuned for mind, life, and experience? No answer to that, okay?
These are what they call the hard questions.
Yeah. Third, what came before time? No answer, but time emerged from that which was timeless. But how? No answer. How did life get created? No answer. Why does the universe fit together? It doesn't actually, it's one hollow movement.
What you call the anthroposophic.
Anthropic view, weak and strong.
Right.
Okay? But the main thing that science cannot deal with right now is how do we experience that which we call reality? How do we experience thoughts, sensations, what we call mind, or the physical universe? What I'm saying in this book is, in the end, after having shown all the stumbling blocks that science encounters, is there is no such thing. Those are human constructs, and this is a human universe. It's not a mosquito universe. It's not the experience of an insect with 100 eyes, or a bat that navigates through the echo of ultrasound, or a dolphin or a whale that understands the universe through infrasonic or whatever, but those are also human constructs. So the whole thing is made up. Universe, mind, body is made up. And it's good to know that, because, the fundamental questions of existence still are, who am I?
Right.
Well, you are a being. You're a consciousness that curves back within itself and creates mind, body, and universe.
But that's still a concept, right?
I have to use words. Okay, so Rumi said, God's language is silence, everything else is a poor translation. So as soon as we created words, we separated ourselves from that which we experience. Okay, that's the fall from grace, actually. That as soon as you create words, then you create concepts. If there's no body in the deeper realm, then there's no birth. And there's no death. What dies and gets born is experience. So the experience that people are having when they're watching us right now, that'll be over in a few minutes. And when we started the program, that's over too, right?
Right.
And as soon as I finish my sentence, that's over. Okay? So the future is a dream, the past is a dream, and this present moment is over before you actually have a moment to grasp it. So the whole thing is a dream. Wittgenstein, he said our life is a dream. We are asleep, but once in a while we wake up enough to know that we're dreaming. What do we wake up to? The consciousness that is dreaming, which is timeless. What do we wake up to? The presence in which this experience is happening. This experience is time-bound, but the consciousness in which it is happening is timeless. That's what the word tattvam asi means. That is who you are. That is all this. That is who I am. That is who you are. That is all this, and that's all there is. That's all there is. Consciousness timelessly bubbling up into the arising and subsiding of experience in an eternal now. We cannot even say in an eternal moment of now, because then we introduce the concept of time. And the eternal now is the presence of awareness, presence of consciousness, you might say spirit, those are words, but the presence in which the entire universe is evolving as an experience in time. Now, in order to have that experience in time, you have to have the concept Of a knower, a process of knowing, and that which is known. A seer, a process of seeing and the scenery. But if you look at that, then that one awareness is bubbling out as innumerable knowers, innumerable modes of knowing, innumerable objects known, innumerable seers, innumerable modes of seeing, innumerable scenery.
Innumerable or one, maybe. You know?
Well, coming out of the one, but innumerable experiences of the one. So you have a mosquito universe, you have an insect universe, a dolphin universe, again, human constructs. But anyway, the multiverse or the metaverse is actually in consciousness alone.
I want this book to be an important bridge. And so we point out the fallacies of their theories. How do we talk to them on the level they can understand about mechanics? Is there any way?
On the level of science,
Yes.
just understand that science is a system of thought which is very useful for creating technology. Religion is a system of thought. Theology is another system of thought. Philosophy is another system of thought. But all systems of thought, they have their uses, but they cannot give you access to what we call reality. Reality cannot be a system of thought by definition, because thought itself is a perturbation or an activity of consciousness. So the only way to access reality is to transcend thought beyond the subject-object split. Because right now, I say I am the subject of experience, all this is the object of experience. Reality is one, right? So you cannot access it through systems of thought. So science is useful, yes, as a system of thought that is good for technology, but it's based on subject-object split, and that's why science has problems. I took a jet plane from California to get to New York. That's useful. But atom bombs, global warming, climate change, eco-destruction, extinction of species, poison in the food, these are also scientific gifts.
Or there are things we've made up to put labels on. I mean, they're important.
No, but they ultimately get rid of these models that we call species. But actually, even species are species of consciousness. So it's consciousness that is evolving as species of consciousness, and they experience different universes. The current universe that we are experiencing is a human universe. Conceived, constructed, governed, and born in human consciousness. Species of awareness.
When science gets this, they'll understand, because I don't think they're going to get it in the current paradigm of mechanism.
After all, I wrote the book with a physicist, right? But if you want liberation, science does not answer me, who am I? What do I want? What's my purpose? Okay, so who am I? I am a formless being having the experience of form. What do I want? To know myself. What's the purpose of existence? To connect with my source, which is the source of the universe. Period. You know, I wrote to Freeman Dyson a while ago, the physicist at Princeton University, and he said there are 3 riddles that have puzzled me all my life. The first is what he called the unpredictable movement of atoms. The second is a universe that's fine-tuned for mind and life. And the third is our own consciousness. And he said, I don't know the answers to these, but I think they're connected. Now that's very smart thinking by a very smart physicist, probably one of the most important physicists of our time. At Princeton, he's now in his 90s. He's contemporary, was a contemporary of Einstein. But what I'm saying in this book, by the way, is what Einstein said. See, let's track the history of human thought, okay?
Okay.
So first there's the divine universe. God is some dead white male over there, and in the book of Genesis, he created the universe in 7 days, even though there was no day at that time because there was no earth, okay, and there was no sun, so how do you have a day without the earth and sun? You know, that's based on the movement of the earth around its axis and going around the sun, etc., etc. But anyway, that's the divine universe. And then, you know, it went along fine till Isaac Newton could describe what is called the classical universe, which, by the way, is useful. You can send men out to the moon, you can create planes and make a rover for Mars. That went along fine till Einstein came up with two theories, special relativity and general relativity. So special relativity gave us E is equal to mc squared and the constant speed of light, and the fact that if you move at a very fast speed, you slow down time.
What did that do to our paradigm, way of thinking?
Well, then he came up with the general theory of relativity, which said, basically, that the experience of the observer, location of the observer, speed of the observer, determines everything. What that did was it made matter, energy, space-time as a unified expression of something deeper, which is non-local, which is beyond space-time.
It also made it relative to the observer.
It made it relative to. So then comes, post-Einstein, comes, quantum physics with its concepts of non-locality, uncertainty, wave-particle duality. So it leads to what is called an uncertain universe. Now where we are is, even beyond that, is, eternal inflation, or what is called chaotic inflation, giving rise to multiple universes. What none of these theories explains is how are we experiencing this reality? Okay, where is the experience of the body being had, or what we call thoughts? So what I'm saying at the end of these books is all these theories are useful, don't answer questions about fundamental existence.
So let's go to the fundamental existence, that we're part of the great cosmic mind, that this vehicle of perception is part of something much bigger. How is that useful in our lives? How do you use it? Because you've accomplished a lot. People know you. You're out there. Have you used this specifically to manifest a reality that is satisfactory?
I live with the conviction that everything I'm experiencing is a projection of myself. I live with the conviction that I was never born and therefore I'm not subject to death. I live with the conviction that every time my ego comes in the way, it interferes with the experience of my own being. I live with the conviction that I'm a formless being that is eternal and timeless. And that's enough.
How does that affect then the world that you are manifesting?
I take responsibility for the world that I'm experiencing in every moment of my existence. But the I is not a skin-encapsulated ego somewhere inside this body, because there's no one there. The body itself is an experience in I. So we use this word I all the time. I went to the movies. I'm having a conversation with Alan right now. I like Chinese food, etc. Never asking who or what or where this I is. Okay? Because I is not inside the body. The body experience is inside the I. I is not inside the mind. The mind experience is inside the I. I is not in the universe because the universe experience is in I. There's a Sanskrit expression, prakratim swam vashtbhai vishrajami puna puna. Curving back within myself, I create again and again and again. And I create minds and bodies and universes and innumerable universes, innumerable bodies, innumerable minds. And I is that. That's who you are, ultimately.
So we have to then take responsibility, everything in our world, we have to take responsibility for Donald Trump. And how do we deal with the things in our life that may not be pleasant?
Donald Trump is part of the melodrama of our screwed up consciousness.
And a screwed up sense of self, because that's us. So how do we use this book then to modify the universe that we want to make more inhabitable?
At the end of the book, there's a whole section on cosmic censorship and veiled non-locality. How the non-local, eternal, timeless mind literally veils itself to experience this. So, you have drawn a veil in order to have the experience of Alan and this. Okay, the Rumi's poem, in truth we are not here, this is our shadow. The real reality is behind the veil. Okay, so in the book I talk about how cosmic censorship occurs, what is veiled non-locality, an expression used by Menas in physics originally. But we also, Menas and I, talk about qualia mechanics. So instead of quantum mechanics is the measurement of reality, or what we call reality, which is a construct.
Right.
Qualia mechanics, on the other hand, is, you might say, alchemy,
Okay.
cosmic alchemy. How do we create a recipe out of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts, and sense perceptions to create the universe we want to manifest? So you want to manifest a universe, or your personal reality, which is a projection.
A good universe.
Yeah, so then pay attention to the raw materials of experience, which are sensations, images in consciousness, thoughts, emotions, and sense perception, sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell. You take this and you can create the recipe for projection. That's in the book in the end.
No, it's right. So
About 40 qualia principles.
So you want, after people read this book, you want to give them a sense of the mystery that they are. That's what I get.
I want to give them a sense of freedom. Freedom from the fear of death, freedom from the fear of the unknown, freedom from false identity, freedom from melodrama, freedom to be sober, freedom to write the story you want. As you know, we've changed the story so many times already.
And it
The
keeps
divine
changing.
universe, the classical universe, the relativistic universe, the quantum universe, the uncertain universe, the chaotic inflation universe, on and on, which are models. Reality is not a model. Reality is that in which the model is constructed.
Reality is what defined?
We call everyday realities a human construct. Ultimate reality
Yes.
is the consciousness that creates the constructs.
Isn't consciousness also a construct when we say
As
that?
I said, we have to use words. All we can say with certainty is there is existence, and then there is awareness of existence. The rest is a story.
So what's the next phase of the story for you, Deepak?
I'm experiencing awakening, and I want to help other people wake up.
Are you experiencing a deeper sense of your own mind as you
A
write these?
deeper sense of self, yes.
You are. You're going through a series of realization. I'm just curious about your process.
Oh, well, that's the goal of life, self-realization.
So to sum up,
You are the universe. That's your cosmic mind, and that's all you need to know. You have to know your cosmic mind, and once you know it, and then you're free.
it's always been great having you on the program because of your inspired thought. I look forward to more books and more interviews. Thank you. I've been talking to Deepak Chopra. You are the universe.
Discovering your cosmic mind and why it matters.